love coming to the Organic Growers discussion group. We just learn a lot. It's great to visit people on their farms, see how they're doing things, see things over the years and through the changing seasons. We get lots of technical knowledge, but the social side of it is also really fantastic.
A lot of the people who come here haven't gardened before, so the blast that I get from watching them walk away thinking, I can do this, I can give this a crack. This is not that hard. That's awesome.
The big leaf, I'm really happy with the stand that it is here, but of course lucerne, a little bit like asparagus, has to build up in its crown.
We're at 10 minutes by tractor vineyard, and we've got one trial here. It's one of 3 farms that we're actually monitoring the compost on.
The composted rows use certainly less water. The vines themselves were not as stressed, I didn't think, as the control row. The soil doesn't get as cold or as warm, so there's quite a buffering effect from the mulch.
To support these sort of trials really gives us the opportunity to put some meaningful data behind some of the research or some of the demonstrations that are taking place.
So this is the 3rd multi-storey farming field day we've had, and it really seems to have grabbed people. So we talk about what's actually occurred on the site over what's almost been 3 years since the Western Port Catchment Landcare Network provided the funds for the demonstration site project. So the biggest observation that we've made is that there's something always growing in this system, and we're using more sunlight, another resource that we've already got.
FertSmart is the National Dairy Soil and Fertiliser Guidelines. So the 4 R's relate to the right rate of fertiliser with the right product at the right time and in the right place.
The best thing that I got out of it was just to have an understanding of the soil tests, so how to complement it and how grazing can affect what fertiliser I put on and when I put it on.
Integrated pest management is an approach that uses all of the available tools for managing pests rather than focusing only on sprays or only on biological control.
The idea of the assessment tool is to basically judge the health and the quality of your soil. Now we're looking at organic matter. We've taken our soil spit and looking for colour variations. The darker the soil, the blacker it is, it's going to have more organic matter and more humus in the soil.
So we're talking about regenerative agriculture, and this is an introduction to a short series of regenerative agriculture videos that are looking at some of the key principles. The first principle is minimise disturbance. The second principle is maximise diversity. The third principle is about maintaining ground cover. The fourth principle is about maintaining living roots year-round. The fifth principle is integrating livestock on the farm, and the sixth principle is integrating trees. And we'll talk about each of these as we go through. But what is regenerative agriculture?
What would this look like on a farm if we actually implemented an IPM program? And we started that with a workshop back in October last year, and we then set up a demonstration site to implement what we developed at that workshop as an IPM strategy.
March the 1st, 2019, we had dry lightning strikes up in the bush, actually directly behind us in the hills there, and it started 3 fires and they went straight up.
Initially, after the fire front, then you had that period of time where you're reassessing what you do And then once we felt it was safe, and you started going around checking assets.
My biggest concern was, you know, your family's safe. Your next thing is your responsibility to your livestock. We've raised these, we have a duty of care to looking after them.
Without shadow of a doubt, the fact that the various groups that we're involved in volunteered their time. We had multiple workers helping clean up tree lines.
Well, we got so much help here, and we took the tractor down and worked with quite a few properties, and I know they appreciate it very much.
The dung beetles bury the manure in the ground. They produce tunnels to do that, so that will help drainage, relieve some of the compacting of the soil.
Well, I went to the Peter Ronalds talk that was given last year. It was really interesting, and we went to the next Landcare planting we had. They said, oh, why don't we raise dung beetles in nursery beds?
For over 25 years we've had the smaller summer active beetles established, which have been Taurus and Fulvus. But we're trialling in the beetle nurseries Bison, which is a winter active beetle, which is established well in other areas, but we haven't got it here yet. And then the two spring active beetles, Bubalis and Vaca. And they're the relatively new ones to the, to the whole of Australia.